Since last night you didn't get any text from him that would be pestering you to come over, only the last message of last night's, and then it was so quiet that you doubt yourself if your family wireless network was broken or in the debt, why you were not receiving any messages from him. But it just so happened that other than his message not being sent in, the other's messages was normal. It means that your network was working. It was just that man didn't contact you and text you. Probably he was tired of it and felt it was meaningless to keep sending you text messages asking every day to come to look after him at hospital. Not everyone would just stand there and wait for you, right? Everyone will move with a time, and that is good. Everyone had their own lives. However, why did you feel empty in your heart? Are you used to his presence or annoying texts? You leaned and held phone tightly. The disparity in your heart made you feel disgusted with oneself. The person you had been rejecting these past few days was you. You also wanted to cut off the contact with him, but now he had stopped texting you. You are hoping to get one. Perhaps it was a habit, because ever since you met him, he had always appeared in front of you and text you and call you, taking your recent most of the time. People would get too used to a person or his presence. You are used to it as well. Maybe you will soon be yourself and you don't need anyone, especially not him. Why? 2 days later, you guys adopted stray cat. It's just so small. Rowoon was so happy to play with it, feeding and running its behind. Kitten snuggled on your feet. You bent down to pick it up and stroked its little head soft. Tell me, what is he doing now? It's been 2 days and that man didn't even contact you. You were not used to sudden changes. Should I go to the hospital to see him? I wonder how his injuries are. Mummy, how is his injury? Rowoon suddenly came from nowhere. Your expression changed a bit, but then you smiled to cover it up. Nothing, you heard it wrong. He stared at you curiously, but you say he is injured. Earlier, the kitty had some injuries on its leg, so Mummy was asking it, look, I am holding little cat, right? He nodded. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want Rowoon to ask, wanting father again. You suddenly realized something. Rowoon had said that he wants father, and you had forgotten about it. You can really stay alone all the time and endure the loneliness, but one day your child will ask about his father. He needed a healthy family to grow up like other people's children. You put down the kitten and let your son play with it. You had made your decision on it. You picked up the bag and went outside. If you are worried, then you should have to go to the hospital and take a look, right? Buy some fruit for him? Yeah, that will do. Thinking about it, you went to market and bought some fruit before taking taxi to the hospital. Along the way, you again thought what you are doing. You still came to look after him, such a petty woman, but you couldn't help it. You need to confirm about his injuries. After half an hour, you arrive at the entrance of hospital, then walk to his ward. Taking a deep breath and pushing the door of ward, you were stunned and stood there blankly. The ward was empty, room was neat and clean, but there is no one in the ward, and the person's things also now had to be seen. You thought that you had walked into the wrong ward. A nurse just happened to pass, so you stopped her. May I ask if the mister who lives in this ward are not you the member of his family? He was discharged today. You were surprised. How can he get discharged so quickly? You nodded, thanking her for telling it, and stood there in a daze, then looked at the fruit bag you bought and smiled helplessly. You had came here to take care of him frequently, but now he got discharged but didn't even inform you. You walked in the apartment and put fruit on the table. It's already evening. Where did you go? You sat on the chair. I went downstairs to buy some fruit. She turned to look at you. It take more than hour just to bought these fruit at downstairs, or you also went to stroll around the surroundings. These words mean something. She also looked at you teasingly. Yes, because I'm too full, I have to go walk around, unlike you who hide all the time in her room. Her smile froze. If you don't be mean to me, will you die? You even brought up old matters. She pouted. Same here. You told her that you actually went to hospital to take a look at man, but he got discharged today and didn't even have sense to tell you, nor he text you. But thinking about that, it's normal. It's his life. Anyway, why you need to care about him? If he cared about you, then wouldn't he say a word or let you run to empty wards? 5 days later, the days went on normally. Seemed that man had really disappeared from your life again. However, his name was still on your client list and contact account was so silent. Because he hadn't made any requests and do as you wish, you were unable to proceed with the next step of his design. But thinking about how he suddenly stopped contacting you was probably that he started to dislike you. The reason why he would place an order in the company previously was because of an old relationship. What about now? How about you give this deal to complete to one of your teammate designer? Let's handle it for you. Yoo Jong-yoon almost smashed her pen when she heard the offer. You really want to give this opportunity to me? You nodded, yes, but whether you can take it or not depends on you. Are you willing? Yes, she is more than, but thinking about the cold man back then, she hesitated to take it, the offer, but for you, she will do it anyway. The weekend is for family time, not before, because you had no family like to go and have fun in the weekend. But now you have one, and you often go amusement park to spend good quality time with your son, brother, and best friend. Jenny didn't separate with Rowoon at all. All along she was pulled to play. If she keep playing like this, then how much time she will take to be your sister-in-law? She don't even try to talk with your brother, but just keep running. So you decided to help your friend being nice. You and your brother walked side by side. You looked little beside him. He is Jane beside you. Brother, what do you think of Jenny? Again, this sister of his never leave a chances to drag this topic. He frowned. He didn't like this feeling. What's wrong? You want to be my matchmaker before your marriage is settled? You turned to look up at him. You are already so old. I'm so much younger than you and I have a child. Do you have one? He didn't answer, but keep his straight expression. You smiled slyly. So you are the one who needs to work hard. His face became serious. That matter of yours, has it been resolved? Your smile faded a little and shook your head. Not yet. You almost forgot that you are going to divorce Jungkook. You should take advantage of the face that Jungkook hated you. Call him to the Civil Affairs Bureau. Recently, probably because he was injured, the other side relaxed there. So I found a loophole. You didn't understand. What did you mean? A loophole? He stopped and stared at you. Sarang, you're not legally married to him. You were stunned. What? What does that mean? Didn't you say? We found a breakthrough. When you married into the John family, it was the Yu family and old Master John who worked together. The legal registration used false information. The name in that registration was not your name, not Akim Sarang or Yu Wayan, it was Yu Dani. It means that you and Jungkook were never married legally, so both were not husband and wife all these years. All these years you thought that he is your husband, but actually not. So many things had happened, but now there is not even relationship between you two. Your expression turned into ugly. Did he knew it? You are the only one who stayed in the darkness. Why he did that? You have many questions, but you just don't want to hear any answers. Sokjin slowly patted your shoulder. Isn't this better now? You don't have any relationship with him. You are free. It's time to think about yourself and Rowoon. Brother, I asked someone to find you a few good friends. Do you want to meet them? You are unable to speak for long. You really wanted to laugh at yourself. Why you're so dumb until now? That man is clearly no one for you. I wanted to match you, but brother already did it for me. But brother, have you thought about my thoughts? He looked ahead indifferently. If it wasn't for your thoughts, do you think you would have achieved so much in the past years? You can't continue to be like this. Although I'm willing to accommodate you, it doesn't mean that I can continue to indulge. You know this. Besides, do I have to get married to be happy? Can't I live alone all the time? What about Rovon? Have you thought about him? You bite your lower lip. You never thought of marrying again. Sarang, I will set blind date for you tomorrow until you are satisfied with your partner. How is it? You smile bitterly. What else can I do? You have already decided, right? You have no choice but to agree. He's your brother and he's worried about your future and the difficulty taking care of child alone. Even they are there, but Robo need father like others. You coughed lightly. So, brother, my matter is solved and you have already decided everything for me. Can you consider yours about Jenny? He felt headache. You don't need to worry about brother's matters. You put hands on your waist. You are not allowed to turn down. I had already agreed to your condition. If you don't want Jenny, then my company have many outstanding designers. I guess they would be very happy to be able to go on a blind date with the boss of Kim Groups. Or do you want to post marriage proposal on the website? His forehead was hurting and looked at you helplessly and smiled tauntingly. You are obviously someone else's mother. Why are you still so childish? You reported. Playing half of the day, you guys ate outside. And later on, you went to buy some groceries. You saw Jonghan there, but you ignored him and quickly turned around to left. The moment you saw Jonghan, he quickly catch up to you. I gave you the number. Did you lose it? You pursed your red lips but keep walking coldly. I have waited for a long time. You didn't contact me, so I have to come to the supermarket to wait for you. You didn't talk to him still. When old friends meet, are you really not going to say a word, even a greeting? He followed you to the cashier. Before you could do, he took out things from the shopping cart and placed them in the counter to calculate the money. Handsome men and women are always eye-catching. When people saw you both and the consider of man's, they couldn't help but look over cashier's smile. Miss, your boyfriend is really handsome. Cashier couldn't help but praise. Chung Han stopped his action and looked at you. There is no such expression. You were silent for whole time that he thought that you will not refute it, but he is not my boyfriend. I don't know him either. Cashier's smile froze and looked at Jung Han. Why would man help women for shopping if he is not her boyfriend? Or perhaps this guy met beautiful women in the market and wanted to hit on her. You didn't glance at him at all and handed your card to swipe for things and left without caring about him. He just followed you behind his heart. This woman really treated him as invisible person. You walked a little and stopped. He quickly came forward. Is it too heavy? Let me help you to carry it. Are you hallucinating? Why are the personalities of these two brothers completely different from 5 years ago? Of course, the biggest change was still goes to Jungkook. Could 5 years really change a person? No, not exactly. After all, you had seen Jungkook's fierceness when he was facing other people, whether it was his employee or Kim Taeyeon. But which thread had made a mistake? That changed him a lot. You looked at your bag in his hand. You live in the neighborhood in front, right? I saw you come out from there. I will walk you to the door. Let's go. You didn't refute or talk. You let him carry your bag and walked forward. After coming to residential area, you turned to look at him, wanting to ask for bag. It's here. Go in. Be careful at evening. You took your bag and left without saying anything. You felt the gaze on your back, so you stopped and take a look. He immediately smiled. What about Rovun? He need father. You stared at him with your inner confusion. Junghan saw the hesitation in you. Don't think too much. I don't have any bad intention. I just want to greet old friend meeting after long. Was it that simple? Or you feel like there is something that he suddenly came in front of you? You didn't say anything again and walked away. The person who's standing at the entrance of residential areas smile faded with the women who walked away step by step. He remembered the child's appearance. It's the same mold and features as his stepbrother, but there is a hint of coldness in that little's eyes that belongs to his mother's. Just a one glance that he can tell it. He had asked his assistant to search about your whereabouts and he found some information and the blurry pictures of childs. It seemed that you had protected this child very well these past few years. As for why you were protecting and didn't want to reveal your son, he didn't know exact, but a touch of malice flashed across his gentle eyes. It's not hard to know about it. It's that day that your brother had set up blind dates for you. Uncle Han sent you to the place over. Miss, I will come to pick you up later. You shook your head. No need, uncle. You can go back first. I don't know about the blind date. I will take a taxi back later. You don't know how long it will take, so you don't want him to wait for you. You felt that you might not able to maintain this blind date for that long. He bid goodbye to you. Uncle Han, drive carefully on the road. He nodded smiling and drove away. It's the coffee shop near the Han River. You take a look around. There is many people in the group. You didn't saw a single man sitting there, so you guessed that your blind date was not yet arrived. So you sat by the window. Waiter came over. Miss, would you like to order? I am still waiting for someone. I will order later. Thank you. Okay, miss. Waiter left. You looked at the time. The agreed time was 2 p.m. You hoped that the other party was a punctual person and take out phone to scroll through your social media. Yesterday, you guys went to the amusement park. Jenny and Rowan played crazily. The two of them took a lot of pictures. Jenny didn't upload them but instead personally sent in your inbox. You both had agreed that Rowan will not be published in the social media platforms, even though there is some blurry pictures of his in that Jenny's account. You looked pictures one by one and smiled. The afternoon sunlight was reflected your surroundings. You had gentle smile on your lips, playing with your phone. When the man entered in the coffee shop, people were immediately attracted, but he was here for his blind date. When he saw the women sitting by the window, he was little surprised. Women is beautiful by side profile. There was few single people there, but he guessed that women is his blind date for today. He steadily walked towards the women. Hello, I am Kim Yoo-gyum. You raised your head and looked at the person who came over. You both were stunned for a moment. You were not? He was surprised. You stood up and looked at the person with same reaction, but less than his. If you remembered correctly, this person in front of you seemed to be the owner of the car that you chased after last time. The women beside him even humiliated you since they didn't agree to call the police and solve matter. Jungkook came to help it. Yo-gyum also didn't expect that his blind date would be you. He coughed in embarrassment. Do you still remember me? I'm the car owner who you chased after me.